Hello, good evening. It's weekend, at least as I'm recording this video. I hope you have a great day of study, of work, and everything will be alright. Everything will go well in your life. Yeah, it's not a self-help book, right? It's about our studying. It's important to keep up with our studies, not to stop doing what we are doing, because focusing on studying whatever you want to study is important, so that you create a routine, right? You establish something that you do every day or twice a week, 3 times a week. It's important to establish something solid in which you keep updated no matter what you are studying. Okay, the last video, if I recall well, we were studying the conditional tense, and we will keep up with this subject. It's going to be a topic in this lesson as well, but it will be a little different because we will emphasize on the situation when the if clause comes in the past, right? And there are various expressions and situations which we will study, giving examples of them, okay? So let's get going, shall we? Okay, I hope you understand that. Okay, I hope you understand that I have to turn my notebook first so that we start. Well, if I, for example, and a verb in the simple past, we have already studied that the next stance, the next part of the sentence will have the verb would. It can have also the verbs could and might, right? They are also possible, and that's it. It's no big deal. For example, if I knew he was coming, I wouldn't be there. There is a person I don't like. Yes, I'm not a very friendly person. Yeah, that's right. Not the friendly kind of guy. If I knew he was coming, it's a person I don't like. I wouldn't be there. No way I would be there. Okay? So, if I knew he was coming, I wouldn't be there. Is the situation real? If I knew he was coming? No, it's not real. What's the real situation? I didn't know he was coming. So, you can imply this from reading this sentence. That's one interpretation you give to it, right? I didn't know he was coming at all. Okay? So, when you use if plus past, although the verb is in the past, the verb is in the past, right? The verb in the if part of the sentence or if clause. Although the if part of the sentence is in the simple past, the meaning is not a situation in the past. The meaning is present. Let's see. For example, he would, let me see. He would speak more if he had more time. Yeah, he would speak more on the phone, or whatever, with friends, if he had more time. What's the real situation? He doesn't have enough time. Doesn't have enough time. He would speak, for example, more English if he studied more, right? If he had more time. So the if part of the sentence exemplifies imaginary situations, things that are not real. I'm conditioning, right? Okay, another example. If you were my friend, what would you do? This is an even more impossible situation, right? It's not just imaginary, but yeah, it's imaginary. You can put yourself in the place of someone. If you were my friend, what would you do? I'm giving, this sentence has double meaning, right? If you were my friend, I'm saying if you and I were friends. No, that's not the meaning. So I will change here. If you were him, what would you do? You're not him. If you were Paul, if you were Bob, if you were Bob or Paul, what would you do? I'm saying, if you were in the position he has, if you were his person, what would you do? So the situation is not real, it's imaginary. It'd be nice if you cleaned the house. It would be nice if you cleaned the house. It's my mom telling me this before she leaves home. What does she mean? She wants to say that when she comes back, she expects me to clean the house, or at least she would like me to clean the house. It would be nice. So it's a situation that expresses something that is happening or will happen in a time near present. It has nothing to do with the simple past. Although you use the verbs in the simple past, like were, if ed, which is a regular verb, studied, had. It's important to note that neither of these sentences involve simple past situations. The verb tense is simple past, but the meaning is in the present. We use the past in the same way when we want to express I wish. I wish. I wish is very interesting. I remember I studied a lot when I was in high school. It's a very common verb. I wish I were a millionaire. Here, I want to give an example of something like this. You see, I were, you think it's wrong, it's not I were. When I studied the verb to be, I remember that was used for I, he, she, and it. And were, on the other hand, was used for you, we, and they, right? Yeah, that's the rule of the verb to be in the simple past. But here, it's possible to use I were for I. for impossible situations or for situations which are imagined. So it's possible to use I were and it's possible to use I was as well. So both situations are possible and are correct here. If I were rich, I'd help my family. What verb is here? I'd. Is it would? Yes, it's would. It's would. It's correct. It's not I had, okay? I would help my family. If I were, I would. If I am, I will, right? So just pay attention. It's also possible to say, I wish he would come here. It's also possible to use I wish in such expressions. I wish that he would come here. I'm not using if here, the if clause I'm not using, but it's also possible to use I wish I would, I wish he would, I wish they would. So the expression wish, would is also possible in which you have a pronoun here and another pronoun here. Okay? All right, and last but not least, we can also use the verb could, meaning to be able to, but remember that the verb to be able to, but with would be able to, would be able to. Be able to means that you can do something, you could do something. I am able to drive. It means that I can drive, right? I am able to drive. What does it mean? It means that I can drive. That's it. I can drive. So, let's suppose you are giving a piece of advice to your friend. You could have another car. You could have another car, right? You would be able to have another car, okay? You would be able to have another car here. So it has this meaning. I'm giving an advice. You could use an iPhone. You would be able to use an iPhone. You're more than capable to use an iPhone. I have, for example, a Samsung mobile, and which is an Android, has an Android device. And just a moment, people.